In this scenario, a leader wants advice on how to address a behavior issue with a skilled employee who has a blind spot. Questions for reflection as you watch. How does the employee set the topic for the conversation? How does the coach help clarify and expand the goal? Does the coach build urgency to act? How does the coach support his next steps? And notice as you watch how the coach holds back on giving advice and asks questions instead. Notice how good way forward questions can help clarify, expand, and solidify the likelihood of a good result. Let's watch.
Hey Elaine, thanks for taking a few minutes. This
Sure.
might take 10, 15 minutes. I've got a problem with
Okay.
Susan.
Okay.
And you know who I'm talking
I
about.
sure do.
Yeah. You know she's technically brilliant, but she's a bit of a bull in the china shop when it
Yeah.
comes to personal relationships. And lately she's been, I've been getting feedback from some of the people where she's been sitting on committees and really kind of moving into spaces she shouldn't really move into.
Okay.
And I don't know what to do with her because I value her technical skills so much. I really haven't been able to address this with her yet, and I don't know how.
Okay.
And I don't want to lose her.
Right. So when you say you don't know how, I guess I'm curious about a couple things. When you say you haven't been able to address this with her, how long has this been going on?
Well, I guess, you know, she's been with us about a year and a half now.
Okay.
And I guess you could say it's been going on since day one, but it really didn't start to seem to be a problem until maybe the last 6 months.
Okay.
And now I'm afraid I've let it go so long that it's become a real problem and something's got to be done.
Yeah. And you're saying you don't know how to address this. I'm curious about what behaviors you would like to see from her that would...
Well, I'd like her to be a little more circumspect, a
Okay.
little more thoughtful
Okay.
about how she comes off with other people. Again, she's brilliant at what she does.
Yeah.
You know, she doesn't suffer fools. I mean, she can come
so
off.
she's a little impatient. with
She can come
people,
off as
you're saying.
impatient,
Okay.
non-empathetic. And that's a tough thing to talk about in general,
Yeah.
I think, and for me, and particularly for someone with her skill set where I don't want to lose her from my team.
Right. But I'm hearing you say you don't feel as confident as you'd like to in speaking with her.
Yes, I'd love some pointers, some
Okay.
tips.
Yeah.
What do you think I should do?
Well, if you don't mind, I'm going to turn that question back to you
Okay.
to ask you what you have thought about previously. What would something be that might give you confidence? What could you talk with about or with her about?
Well, I think that maybe I need to read up a little bit on how to have crucial conversations. I've heard about that book. I know some people have been through that training, but I've never really been trained in how do you have a difficult conversation
Okay.
about something like emotional intelligence.
Right. Yeah.
With somebody who's not emotionally intelligent and not get them angry.
Yeah, so I've read that book. I use that book. Maybe I've even mentioned it to you before, but I could certainly support you in that effort if you think that would be helpful.
Do you think that would help? So that is it simple enough that if I was to read the highlights of that, it would give me some step-by-step in how to have these conversations?
What would help you to feel most comfortable, Tom?
Well, I guess I would need to learn the technique and then practice it.
Okay. And how would you practice that technique?
Well, I guess I could come back to you and we could do a role play.
Sure, absolutely.
Okay.
Yep. Then you're saying it out loud.
Right.
You can hear yourself saying it.
Right, hear
I find
myself
that-
saying it, and since you're trained in it or you use it a lot,
Right.
you could probably give me some feedback on the finer points and where I
Right.
did well and where I didn't.
Yeah. How would this help the employee if you were willing to talk with her?
Well, at this point, not only am I willing, I think it has to be
Okay.
done. This would help me because I would be overcoming what has become a problem for me.
Okay.
For the employee, if she gets it, it's going to be really important, I think, for Susan's advancement here, that she softens her edges a bit. I don't expect her to need to change and become a whole new person, but I need her to,
Okay.
I need her to understand when she's overstepping, because I don't think she sees it. I think
Okay.
she's totally
Okay.
unaware.
The blind spot for
it's
her.
a blind spot for her, yeah.
If it's as critical as you're saying it is, and of course you've asked for some time today to talk about this, when would you like to do this, or how would you approach it?
Well, is this something that's a pretty quick study? Like, could I get online and find a short version of how to have these conversations?
Yes, there
'Cause-
are 4 specific steps that you could very simply
Okay.
and easily follow.
So I think I could, I could try to consume that just in the next couple days. And if you have time, say next Monday,
I will make time for you.
okay, then we'll be prepared for a role play, and you can play Susan, and I'll practice the 4 steps that I studied over the weekend.
Okay. Now, thinking about how Susan may respond to this, how do you want to set this up, or what will you do to make sure you've got success that you want?
Well, I think one thing that would be helpful is maybe just we have a one-on-one that occurs typically every Thursday. So if you and I are practicing by Monday, and then I get some more practice time, I think I just have to use our one-on-one time to not check in on the details of the projects like we typically do, and really have this conversation with her about her people skills.
Okay. Now, I have a question for you. When we've spoken before, you mentioned the 3 C's, that caring, courage, and candor. I wonder how you might be using those with Susan.
Well, I don't think obviously I haven't had the courage to have the conversation yet.
Yeah.
And I think, the candor part is what I hope to learn in studying this stuff. And I think the caring is there. I mean, I care about her, and
Right.
I don't care about her just from the fact that she's a great employee that I don't want to lose.
Yeah.
I mean, I genuinely appreciate her skill
I've heard
set.
that from you before.
Yeah.
And I don't think you would have come to me had
Yeah.
you not.
That's a great reminder, though, is that I think if I stay grounded in the care I have for her, and remember that the courage is really for her development as
Beautiful.
well as my own.
Love that.
It's, I guess, learning how to be candid
Yeah.
without feeling like you're crushing somebody.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think your approach is a great approach. And if she senses and knows that she cares about you, I think you'll find that the rest will go pretty well.
All right, great.
Okay.
Well, thanks for your help.
You bet. Thank you.